Did you notice that Twin Peaks felt way too real? The murder of Laura Palmer eerily resembles an unsolved case. Were they trying to reveal something, or was it just a creepy coincidence? And guess what? This isn't the only 90s show hiding secrets darker than you'd ever imagine. Sometimes, the drama behind the scenes was even messier than the plots on screen. Are you curious? Let's dive in. The show that gave us Pivot, We Were on a Break, and some serious coffeehouse envy. It defined 90s sitcoms with its humor, relatable relationships, and a group of friends who somehow managed to afford massive Manhattan apartments. But could Friends actually be part of a bigger cultural problem? Let's talk about it. For a show set in New York City, one of the most diverse places on Earth, how is it that the main cast remained entirely white for all 10 seasons? The main cast was as white as Ross's paleontology lab coat. Where was the diversity in a city known for its melting pot culture? And then there's Monica's past. Her fat Monica flashbacks were meant to be funny, but watching them now feels a little less like a joke and more like a cringe-worthy relic of an era. Were these jokes harmless, or did they send harmful messages about body image? But wait, it wasn't all laughs behind the scenes either. Matthew Perry, the lovable Chandler Bing, was battling addiction while filming. He later admitted that he often shot scenes he couldn't even remember because he was so heavily medicated or drinking. It's crazy to think that he was able to pull that off. And speaking of Chandler, here's a fun tidbit. Did you know that the writers originally didn't think he'd end up with Monica? What changed their minds, and could that storyline have saved the show's declining ratings in later seasons? The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was a cultural reset. But what if I told you there was a brewing storm behind the scenes, one that threatened to overshadow the very heart of the show? Let's talk about the elephant in the Bel-Air mansion, the fallout between Will Smith and Janet Hubert, the original Aunt Viv. Hubert, a strong and dynamic black woman, brought depth and strength to the role, but her sudden departure after season 3 left fans confused. The official story? Creative differences. The unofficial story? A feud with Will Smith that spiraled out of control. Hubert has openly accused Smith of damaging her career, portraying her as difficult and angry. Was it really just a clash of personalities, or was it the narrative of a rising star pitted against a strong woman who refused to be sidelined? Here's where it gets even more emotional. Decades later, the two reconciled during the show's 30th anniversary reunion. Will publicly apologized and Hubert finally shared her side of the story, and everything appears to be good since then. The ultimate feel-good family show where life lessons were served with hugs, cheesy jokes, and a catchy theme song. The Tanner's family's squeaky clean image made us believe everything could be solved in 30 minutes. But, well, the real-life stories of the cast were anything but family-friendly. Let's start with Bob Saget, aka Danny Tanner. On the show, he was the clean freak dad who wouldn't even utter a swear word. But off-camera, Saget's stand-up comedy was so raunchy and explicit that it shocked fans who expected him to be just like his character. How did the wholesome dad of the 90s lead to such a double life? Then there's Lori Loughlin, our beloved Aunt Becky. She became the face of one of the biggest college admission scandals in history. Paying bribes to get her kids into elite schools shattered her pristine reputation. The question is, did Aunt Becky teach us always to do the right thing, or was that just a really good act? And what about the Olsen twins? Mary-Kate and Ashley practically grew up on set, playing Michelle Tanner. But behind the adorable catchphrases was a childhood overshadowed by relentless fame. From eating disorders to tabloid frenzies, the pressure of Hollywood took a heavy toll on them both. Could the weight of being child stars have permanently scarred them? The twins were so young, could they even comprehend that they were on a TV show? Was Full House really the epitome of family values or just the perfectly polished facade? This was literally a teenage dream. It gave us friendships, high school drama, endless pranks, and fashion choices we still don't quite understand. But behind all the laughs and locker room banter, there's a darker story lurking. What really happened when the camera stopped rolling? Let's start with Dustin Diamond, who played the lovable nerd Screech. Off-screen, his life was anything but a sitcom. From legal troubles to jail time and even a controversial tell-all book that exposed the behind-the-scenes drama, Diamond's story is a stark contrast to the show's lighthearted vibe. Did his famous Screech make things worse, or was it the industry itself that pushed him over the edge? And then there's the bigger picture, the pressure young actors faced on set. Endless work schedules, public scrutiny, and that constant demand to look perfect took a toll on the entire cast. Were these teens living the teenage dream that we wanted? We'll let you be the judge. Who could forget the Power Rangers? It was a superhero show and made teenagers with attitude our ultimate role models. From the flashy fight scenes to the unforgettable morphing sequences, it was a global phenomenon. But behind all the action-packed episodes lies a story the producers definitely don't want you to remember, or know. The cast performed their own stunts, often with minimal safety measures. Imagine jumping into explosive scenes without proper protection. Add to that the shockingly low pay despite the franchise raking in millions. Many actors were barely making ends meet. The show may have made them heroes on screen, but off screen they were treated like disposable extras. Several former cast members have faced personal tragedies, from legal issues to untimely deaths. Could the pressure of the Power Rangers' fame have played a role in their struggles? And here's an unexpected twist. The original Power Rangers series reused film footage from a Japanese show called Super Sentai. The budget was so tight that they relied on already filmed action scenes to help save money. What really happened to the Rangers when the camera stopped rolling? Did the fame lift them to superhero status, or was it more of a curse in disguise? A small town, a dead prom queen, and a story so bizarre became a cultural phenomenon. Twin Peaks was an experience. Its surreal, haunting mysteries defined a generation of TV lovers. But the bizarre plot twists and eccentric characters could not hide the show's eerie atmosphere. Lori Palmer's character was often reduced to a tragic symbol, with her pain used more as a plot device than a meaningful narrative. And she wasn't alone. Critics argued that the show repeatedly portrayed women as victims of violence, creating a haunting yet unsettling commentary on small-town life. And then there's the unsettling atmosphere on set. Rumors suggest David Lynch's directing style was as enigmatic as the show itself, with some cast members feeling uncomfortable or unsure about their roles. Was this just part of Lynch's genius, or did it cross a line into something darker? And here's something that might shock you. Laura Palmer's murder wasn't entirely fictional. It was eerily inspired by the real-life unsolved murder of Hazel Drew in 1908. Drew was found dead under mysterious circumstances in a small town, and her case was finally solved after 113 years. But how much of Twin Peaks is fiction, and how much is a reflection of real-life secrets? Was Lynch simply inspired, or was he trying to throw in some clues? You couldn't watch X-Files without feeling like someone was watching you. It had us questioning everything we thought we knew. Gillian Anderson, who played the iconic Dana Scully, was under immense pressure, and the grueling schedule often left her on the brink of burnout. To make matters worse, she was initially paid significantly less than her co-star David Duchovny, despite being just as important to the show. And the work environment? Not exactly harmonious. Rumors of disputes between cast and crew, including creative clashes with showrunner Chris Carter, created tension that sometimes seeped into the performances. The production was so secretive that even the cast was often left in the dark about plot developments. While this added to the show's mystique, it also created frustration among the actors who felt like pawns in a bigger puzzle. This show blended supernatural drama, wit, and strong female characters, earning a dedicated fan base. But the real darkness of Buffy's world wasn't in Sunnydale's Hellmouth. It was actually behind the scenes. While the show was hailed for its feminist themes, Joss Whedon, the creator, faced allegations of mistreatment from cast members, with some accusing him of toxic behavior. Sarah Michelle Gellar, who played the iconic Buffy, has spoken out about the challenges she faced during production, hinting at an environment that wasn't as empowering as the show would have portrayed. And it wasn't just Gellar. Other cast members have opened up about the tense atmosphere on set, revealing that the camaraderie fans saw on screen didn't always translate off screen. Quite ironic, wouldn't you think? Some of the show's most powerful episodes were written under intense deadlines, with the actors juggling personal and professional pressures at the same time. What do you get when you mix a dysfunctional family, a yellow-skinned dad, and endless satirical jabs at modern society? The Simpsons. This animated series became a pop culture titan, breaking records and influencing generations to come, even today. While it may seem like a dream job voicing iconic characters, the cast of Simpsons faced grueling schedules, long hours, and an overwhelming amount of content to produce, leading to burnout and personal struggles. In fact, Harry Shearer, the voice behind Mr. Burns, and other key characters famously filed a lawsuit against the show's producers, claiming he was unfairly compensated for the immense workload. While The Simpsons is known for its biting social commentary, some argue that it often crossed the line, trivializing trivializing real-world issues. Its portrayal of marginalized groups, mental health struggles, and controversial political stances have been accused of being overly dismissive or insensitive, casting a shadow over its comedic genius. And don't forget the eerie predictions. For years, The Simpsons have been accused of predicting future events like the 9/11 attacks and Donald Trump's presidency. While many brush it off as a coincidence, others believe the show's uncanny ability to anticipate major world events is just a little too on the nose. Was it all just luck? Or did The Simpsons tap into something more unsettling about the world's trajectory? Many of the characters on The Simpsons have deeply philosophical origins. Homer Simpson's character, for example, was initially inspired by the Greek philosopher Diogenes, known for his cynicism and rejection of societal norms. The show's writers have woven deep, philosophical references into the scenes, making it a subtle commentary on the absurdity of modern life, one that often goes unnoticed within the laughter. Who didn't love the goofy yet lovable Steve Urkel? His "Did I do that?" line became iconic, and the show's lighthearted tone made it a family favorite. But beyond the jokes and Urkel's clumsy charm, there's a story behind the scenes that's far more complicated than we ever imagined. Family Matters wasn't always the perfect family sitcom it appeared to be. Despite the wholesome portrayal of the Winslow family, tensions on set were brewing. Jaleel White, who played Steve Urkel, was originally a minor character, but quickly became the star of the show. As Urkel's popularity grew, so did the pressure on White, who later admitted he felt somewhat trapped by the character. The writers seemed to focus on Urkel more and more, sidelining the original ensemble cast, which created resentment among the actors. His character became so central that the show's earlier themes of family, community, and normalcy took a backseat to the antics of Steve Urkel. This shift led to the disconnection between the actors and the show's original vision, making Family Matters feel less like a true ensemble comedy. It became a cultural phenomenon, however, but at what cost? Was the overwhelming focus on Steve Urkel a genius move, or did it undermine the heart and value of Family Matters? The lovable babies of Rugrats, Tommy, Chucky, Angelica, and the rest, had everyone laughing and feeling nostalgic. With their wild adventures and innocent perspectives on the world, it was the perfect show for kids growing up in the 90s. But what if there's more to Rugrats than just the playful cartoons and goofy antics? On the surface, Rugrats seemed like an innocent children's show, but it holds a number of unsettling theories and darker truths. The show's creator, Arlene Klasky, and her team often subtly included strange and eerie themes. For example, many fans have speculated that the character of Angelica Pickles, the bossy and manipulative cousin, could be a manifestation of the children's darker side. Some believe that Angelica is a figment of the baby's imagination, representing the loss of innocence and the harsh reality they're coming to terms with. It's an unsettling take on a seemingly innocent character, wouldn't you think? And then there's the theory about the babies being dead. According to this theory, Tommy and his friends are all actually deceased, and their adventures are happening in a form of purgatory. The theory suggests that the babies are in the afterlife trying to work through their unresolved issues. Tommy, for example, is trying to come to terms with the loss of his mother, who is often mentioned but never seen. The creepiest part, the babies' adventures sometimes seem to mirror the adult issues of their parents, raising questions about whether the children were really just passive observers of the adult world, or if they were representing something deeper, like how children perceive the complexities of life through the lens of confusion and misunderstanding. The creators of Rugrats have admitted that they included darker, more complex themes in the show as a way of representing the complexity of childhood and the weirdness of how kids view the world. They wanted to touch on the chaotic reality of life through the lens of a child, even if it was wrapped in cartoons and colorful adventures. This was the ultimate teen drama, with love triangles, prom nights, and teenage rebellion. But was the life of the 90210 cast as glamorous as it seemed? Beverly Hills 90210 was the teen drama everyone tuned in to watch, the epitome of 90s cool. With its rebellious teens, their complicated relationships, and the picture-perfect backdrop of Beverly Hills, it gave fans a glimpse into the lives of the privileged. The tragic death of Luke Perry, who portrayed the beloved Dylan McKay, cast a long shadow over the show's legacy. Perry, who passed away unexpectedly in 2019, had struggled with personal issues even before his death, and the toll of being in the spotlight at such a young age was not easy on him. Yet the show rarely addressed the real-life challenges that the cast faced. In fact, 90210 often ignored the darker side of fame and its toll on mental health, addiction, and personal struggles. Beyond that, there's the infamous behind-the-scenes drama between the cast members. Shannon Doherty, who played Brenda Walsh, notoriously had conflicts with her co-stars and producers, leading to her eventual exit from the show. But this was just the tip of the iceberg. The cast members faced immense pressure to maintain the perfect image of their characters, even as they dealt with their own battles off-screen. And of course, let's not forget about Shannon Doherty's, and we can't forget Shannon's highly publicized departure from the series. Not only were there reported conflicts with her co-stars, but her departure was also tied to an attempt by the producers to create a more marketable image of the show. Shannon, known for her fiery personality, was blamed for the show's deteriorating public image, and this, combined with her exit, caused irreparable damage to her relationships with some of the cast members. Many fans believe she was unfairly treated, and this left a permanent mark on the cast's dynamic from then on. Three sisters with magical powers who fought evil forces every week. While Charmed was an iconic supernatural series, its behind-the-scenes drama was far from magical. One of the most shocking dark sides of the show was the tension between the lead actress, particularly between Shannon Doherty and Alyssa Milano. Their feud was so well known that many fans speculated about it for years, with some even claiming that their on-screen arguments were a reflection of the real-life tension between them. Reports suggested that Doherty's departure after the third season was due in part to the ongoing feud. But that wasn't the only thing brewing behind the scenes. The show also had its share of mysterious accidents and untimely injuries. One of the most bizarre ones involved Holly Marie Combs. While filming an intense scene, Combs accidentally cut herself severely with a prop. Fans would speculate that it was somehow a curse tied to the show's supernatural premise. Of course, this is likely just a coincidence, but it certainly added fuel to the rumors of the show being cursed. Even more disturbing were the alleged complaints about the working conditions. The actresses reportedly faced long hours, intense filming schedules, and little time for breaks. With their grueling routines, it's no wonder that tensions ran high. As the show went on, many of the cast members struggled with mental and emotional exhaustion, with some even dealing with personal issues that affected their performance on set. Despite all the drama, Charmed became one of the longest-running female-led supernatural series, lasting an entire 8 seasons. What's even crazier is that the show almost had an entirely different cast before the final lineup was solidified. Could it have been a sign that the powers that be were trying to find the right magical formula? The show about nothing became a pop culture staple. But was it truly about nothing, or was there a hidden truth to its success? Seinfeld was hailed as one of the most successful sitcoms of all time, but behind the laughs were some serious issues that many fans never saw coming. One of the darkest sides of the show was its treatment of women. Despite being groundbreaking in many ways, Seinfeld was often scrutinized for its lack of strong female characters. Women in the show were frequently used as punchlines or stereotypes, and the relationships between the male characters and their female counterparts were often shallow and objectifying. The show's creator, Larry David, and star, Jerry Seinfeld, were both known for their difficult personalities, often clashing with cast and crew. There were rumors that Jerry was notoriously picky about his script lines, and that Larry David's humor was sometimes considered too dark or even insensitive. This led to tension on set, particularly with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Despite being a fan-favorite character, there were reports that Julia often felt undervalued by the production team. While she had some creative input, she was sometimes sidelined in favor of the 3 male leads. And let's not forget about the unsettling departure of Larry David from the show before the final season. His decision to leave shocked many fans, and some speculating that it was due to a combination of creative differences and the toll the show had taken on him. His departure left a hole in the show's writing that some argue was never fully filled. But what are your thoughts? Are you still going to continue to watch these shows now that you know a little more about them? Let us know in the comments below. And hey, if you thought you remembered all the 90s shows correctly, can you tell me if Shazam ever existed? Are you confused by this question? Check out this video. And don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this. As always, thank you for watching.